ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where my mom's at podcast with Christina P.
All right, mommies. Let's talk tours. I think the second show in Portland, there's maybe like 20 tickets left on that. Rohnert Park is gone. Chicago Park West Theater. I can't see the dates. What's the date in Park West? Nadav?
April 29th.
And then the Turner Ballroom.
That's April 30th.
In Milk Jockey, Wisconsin.
Yep, right there.
And then the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. What a short, easy thing to say. Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, Charlestown, West Virginia. What date?
That's May 13th.
And then in September, I do Comedy Vect downtown in Colorado. Have you done that room yet, Jen Fulwiler?
I'm there next week. I'm there soon, yeah.
Oh, ChristinaPOnline.com for tickets. Also, if you haven't already, please check out my brand new lipstick. I made this in Italy. It took months and months to develop. It's got the magnetic cap so that it doesn't open and destroy your purse. And the color is the perfect red because I've been wearing red lipstick like a whore since I was 13. And I have perfected what I think is the most beautiful shade. And they sell out super fast. We just got in a bunch from Italy, so they are ready to be sold now at ChristinaPOnline.com. I love Saatva mattresses. Truly, I do. Every single one of the mattresses in my home is a Saatva mattress. I got the Lumen Leaf. I got the Solaire. I got their flagship one. Everybody sleeps on a Saatva mattress, even my children, because I believe in this company. I believe in their product. The quality is amazing. The cost is the best part. You want a king-size mattress, but you don't want to pay the king-size price? Go to Saatva, saatva.com/theshit to get your next mattress. I swear to God, you'll get $200 off your next Saatva purchase. You want to sleep like a king? You want to live like a king without paying the price of a king? Get yourself a Saatva mattress. Everything's made in America. Organic cotton. They got a 90-day in-home trial. If you don't like it, send it back. But that's not going to happen because you're going to love it. They make it easy. You just buy it online. There's no middleman. There's no obnoxious sales guy. You simply click a button and they set up the delivery for your mattress. And then they come in and they set your mattress up like professionals. They even take away your old mattress for a nominal fee. Try it out. Saatva.com/theshit for $200 off your next Saatva purchase. Moving along. I met this woman at Cap City Comedy Club. She runs her own night there here in Austin. And she's a great story and she's hilarious. Jen Fulwiler, everybody. Jen Fulwiler.
I am so excited to be here. This is so exciting.
I love you. I love you.
Thanks.
You're fantastic.
Can I just say, I spent so long doing my smoky eye just
so
for
good.
you that I didn't have time to do my hair, so I just kind of like brushed it out.
No,
so,
you look fantastic.
well, thank you. But I need to be wearing your lipstick.
Sure.
I haven't gotten
I'm
it yet.
gonna
I don't
give
know what
you
my
one.
problem is.
The Dove on the way out.
Amazing.
Thanks, bro.
Okay,
Thank you.
It's worth being on the show just to get the lipstick. I mean, I'm really
You're
excited
sweet.
about that.
And a smoky eye. That's tough to do.
Yeah, I've been working on it for months. Like I've
You
spent a
have to help me.
stupid amount of time on it. Like I'm like on TikTok all the time watching these 12-year-olds show me how it's done.
Can I tell you that TikTok, not only do I learn about North Korea,
Yeah.
and I learn about
And
current
eyeshadow.
and I learn current events. I learn about what's happening in the world, and then mascara tutorials and fake eyelashes is what I'm really into right now.
Yes.
Cool.
Fake eyelashes are everything. I'm wearing just
know,
drugstore
good.
eyelashes. Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, I got the drag queen kind that,
The
just
drags.
really ba boom. Yeah.
Those bitches know what they're doing. So you have the craziest story. We were talking in the comedy club. Tell the mothers listening what you have going on at home.
Okay. I had 6 babies in 8 years. No twins. Yep. And so I have 6 kids. I'm an only child. My husband's an only child. My dad was an only child. We have no idea what we're doing. We are absolutely winging it. Every day is a new adventure in learning that I'm not good at running a household with a big family, but it's fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it has, someone was like, oh, is your house like Brady Bunch? It's more like Animal House. Like it kind of has that vibe,
So let's break down the ages and the genders
Ooh, is this a quiz?
Of the
let's
kids.
See. Okay, hang on.
You're
I
like,
should
who?
hang on. Let's see. It is okay. Oldest is 18, boy.
Okay.
And then girl 16, girl 15, girl 14, girl 12 almost, and then boy 9. And I apologize to my children if I got any of that wrong. Genders, ages, like this is off the top of my head here.
So this, you've got 2 boys, and then
Yeah.
the sandwich meat is all girl.
All 4 girls. So yeah, I have 4 basically teen girls in the house. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
And you look great. You look like you're sleeping.
So this is all the TikTok makeup tutorials that you're seeing.
goddamn.
All smoke and mirrors here.
So why did you choose to have so many children? Did you choose, or what happened?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm often very mouthy about the fact that I just kind of reject the concept of like planning pregnancies, whatever. So a bunch of my pregnancies were surprises, but I think because my husband's an only child, I'm an only child. Isn't it weird? My kids will never have cousins. I will never be an aunt. He'll never be an uncle. And so, I mean, this is it for
Yeah.
extended family. This is it. And so it sounded good. It was, well, I'll be honest. It was a living hell when they were little. They were so cute, but I'm not good at the baby toddler
No,
thing. I know
neither
you're
am
not
I.
either.
I
That's
hated
not
it.
my phase. I would have done so much better with a Downton Abbey. Like if I could have just had 8 nannies and a chef and a driver. I think I would have actually really thrived in that season. But as it was, I kind of had a panic attack about every day. But now it's a lot of fun. And I converted to Catholicism, and I just kind of threw out the contraception to stay on brand.
that's what happened.
Yeah. I just
So-
want to keep up the Catholic stereotype.
Which
you
is,
know?
but like, so what? Like, this, you've one life. Like, the way I see it too, because I had my first kid super late at 38 years old. And then I was like, should we just go in for another? And it's like, yeah, just go all in. Like, you
Yeah.
only live once. You don't
Yeah.
want to regret. And fuck it, you're Catholic. Great. Have the kids. They have a good family. You obviously enjoy it. Great. But okay, so how old are you when you start having children? So like, do you have the energy for it?
Yeah, I did. Well, no. I've always been a low energy person. I was 27. By the way, this is a tip. Can I offer a tip to your
Please.
listeners?
And you can say anything you want.
Listen, here's how to feel amazing in your 40s.
Okay.
Be a raging alcoholic in your 20s. Just party every night,
Yeah.
eat junk food,
Yeah.
live off of airport junk food 24/7.
Yeah.
You will have, you can get fibromyalgia, you can get all sorts of great stuff. You can be puffy and kind of fat.
Sure.
And then when you stop all that, once you have kids like heading into your 40s, you'll feel amazing.
Yeah.
I actually sort of didn't have the energy for it because okay, here's one little vignette. Right before I found out I was pregnant, my husband and I went to a housewarming party, and our friends had just gotten a wine refrigerator. So we brought enough wine to fill the wine fridge, but we drank it all before we left. So we left them with nothing for their wine fridge. So that was me. So I think the withdrawal I went through in my first pregnancy, I was a blob. I did nothing.
you were
Like I never got
partying.
out of bed. Yeah.
Oh, and then you found out you're
Yeah.
preggers, and then you had to stop doing all those behaviors. So
and
it
so
kind
I
of is
didn't
good.
have a ton of energy, to be honest. Yeah.
So you so baby number 1 comes out, and that's
Yeah.
your boy.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
And then you get pregnant in the same year, or
He was probably a little over a year when I got pregnant with the second one. And see, I'd had this crazy doctor tell me I'd never be able to have kids without.
What?
Yeah, she said I had PCOS, and I did. It was confirmed with endocrinologists,
Wow.
all that. I still send them Christmas cards just to be petty. They were like, "You're never going to be able to have kids without this." So I did want to have.
Wait,
yeah,
hold on. So they said you had, what is PC? Tell people.
polycystic ovarian syndrome.
And they told
Yeah.
you would be infertile, or that if you wanted to have children.
Yeah, they said I'd have to, what is it? It's like, it's maybe not metformin, but something like that. They said you'll have to do this whole cocktail of drugs and all of that. And I remember I looked this doctor, she's here in Austin, I looked her in the eye and I said, so I am just going to level with you that I have about 6 cocktails a day, about 5 days a week. And Cheetos are currently a major food group for me. Do you think that has anything to do with my lack of fertility and PCOS? And she said, no, it's a medical condition. And
Yeah,
she sent
sure.
me to an endocrinologist who said the same thing. And so I thought, what if I just tried it? Like, what if I tried giving up coffee and alcohol and all that? So I went on this health kick. I went into such withdrawal. I thought I had cancer. I mean, it was
Wow.
I was like a newborn. I slept like 16 hours a day and still napped. It was insane. But it did seem to reverse the PCOS. But so a little bit later, I was kind of back to drinking. I got pregnant with my first kid, but that's why I kind of rushed it with my second, because I had been told this was going to be very difficult for me. And so I just wanted to, I thought I'd only be able to have 2 kids. So I just wanted to hurry up and try.
That's amazing. So you were told it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I love how, like, it's so interesting to me that the medical community never takes into account, or not never, but they wouldn't take into account like things like your diet or your daily, whatever
Yeah.
it is you're doing to yourself.
Yeah.
Of course that's going to affect fertility and what's
Right.
possible. Okay. So then you got your first baby, you're out of the woods. Like you're done with that first year. And then maybe baby number 2 comes.
Baby
along.
number 2. And then it got really fun because I got a deep vein thrombosis and I was diagnosed with this rare and serious blood clotting disorder. When they found out I inherited it from both parents, because it's pretty rare, they said, did your parents meet at a family reunion? I mean, we've never, they actually can't study what happens when you have 2 copies of the gene because nobody does except for me and some inbred people. So,
Jeez.
yeah. And so the doctor said, you absolutely cannot have more kids. It'll really put your life at risk. And I was like, yeah, but what if I did? You know, what if I kept going? Because I did my own research, and it was basically, I mean, you just have to take shots. You have to take blood thinning shots. Fast forward, though, turns out they had more of a point than I thought they did, because in my 6th pregnancy, I got bilateral pulmonary embolisms, like my lungs filled with blood clots. It's normally fatal. They didn't know how I lived through it. And I could just see the doctors were telling me I might not live through the day because they didn't know if they could fix it in time. I was pregnant with my 6th baby in 8 years. But what I could see on their faces is they were trying so hard not to be like, bitch, I told you so!
Yeah.
Because they told me not to have so many kids.
Jesus Christ. So by the 6th pregnancy, like, I was
dying. I was dying.
Okay, so you are over. I mean, I imagine either goes one way or the other, where you're just like, I'm so used to being pregnant.
No, I never got used to it. It was tough. Yeah.
You didn't. So by like baby number 4, you never had the thought of like, did you guys ever think like, should we slow down? Or
yeah, I thought that, and then it would be like, there's a positive pregnancy test. Because so with Catholics, there are all of these ways that you can track fertility and know how and when to avoid pregnancy. We use a method called the Fulwiler guesstimation method. It has about a 20% effectiveness rate, and so I mean, after most pregnancies, I'd be like, I'm serious this time. I'm overwhelmed. I'm having panic attacks every day. That we need more space. No more of this. Yeah. And then I'd get pregnant.
Oh my God. And did you have help?
No. I will say, I will say we made the decision to put down roots in one place, and we convinced my mom and eventually my husband is Joe, to move near us. So my mom was around. Now, she worked full time. She wasn't able to help all the time, but she was kind of an extra pair of hands. And that, we'd thought about moving to LA or New York, especially when I was at SiriusXM. I mean, obviously that would have been the move for my career, but we had a support system.
Yeah,
and
you have to.
I thought, and again, my mom couldn't babysit during the day and things like that, but we could occasionally do a date night. We could occasionally take a weekend trip with her help. And I thought, I know, screw my career. Like, I need this help,
Yeah, and also I think it's a huge myth that women can do everything at the same time. It's just really,
be real.
Men can.
Right.
They don't seem to have a problem, but if you're the mom, like, sorry, it's not going to all happen at the same time. And I think luckily now we're in such a lovely time of show business where you can be over 40 and have a career. It's not the death of you to be an actual woman.
Right.
Which is great. So anyway, okay, so how... Like I have 2 little boys, 4 and 7, and I can't imagine. And we have a nanny that comes Monday through Friday, but she does, she leaves at 4 or something. And
you're like, please stay.
Yeah,
God, please stay.
And I'm alone with my boys every weekend, and I am so I mean, like this past weekend, like there's just some mornings you wake up and you're like, I can't. Like, I just need to take a shit alone. And of course, that's when your kid gets to be the neediest. And they're like, what are you doing, Mom? I want to go to bed. And you're like,
bang, bang, that's like the SWAT team on the door.
Yeah, like I'm going to lose my mind. So like, how did you do it with 6?
I'll just be honest, not well, and there was a lot of chaos. And I mean, your husband travels, so that is one of the things I had going for me is my husband didn't travel for work, but he did work in downtown Austin. We live in the suburbs, so he didn't get home till 7 p.m. And I remember watching the clock, and it would be like it's 6:23, tick. TikTok 6:24.
Help.
I almost punched in the face people who said it goes by so fast.
Oh my God.
My oldest is now 18. People are like, can you believe it? I'm like, yes, I feel like I've been a parent for 1,000 years. Yes.
Same.
I can absolutely believe it.
People say that stupid shit. You may go past. I'm like, you're not spending enough time with your kids.
Right.
If you think it's going
somebody
so
has
fast.
multiple nannies. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it does not for me. Like my older's 7 and I'm like, yeah, I was there for every fucking day of it.
Yeah.
I'm stoked you're 7.
Yeah.
I love you, but my God.
No, I think I believe that every woman has a phase of children that she's best at.
Yes.
And some women love babies. They say, oh, my baby's 5 months. I can't, it's so sad. I'm like, I'm not cut out for this. I don't know what I'm doing. And for me, I'm realizing teens are great. I love having teens. It's wonderful. Yeah. And I think you will too. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I kind of wasn't kidding when I said my house has almost a Animal House vibe. I mean, I'm more like the head roommate than a real, disciplinarian mom. And it's a lot of fun. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll just be honest. I struggled all the time. And I probably should have gotten on anti-anxiety med. I was really anti-meds. And I wish I hadn't been because I think, I wish they still prescribed harried housewives Valium. If someone would have given me a Valium prescription, that could have been it. Could have made it all come together. I know.
I was on TikTok, my educational source, and there's this girl that goes, "Here's a day in the life of a 1940s or 50s housewife," and it's like she basically wakes up, God damn it, cooks for the whole family, and then spends the entire day cleaning. And then the kids and the husband come home for lunch, so she has to prepare lunch. And then after that, it's clean up after lunch, and then go to the grocery store to get dinner. And all those women, not all of them, but whatever, a majority were medicated. They had to take Mother's Little Helper. There's a reason that Stone song exists, because can you imagine the boredom? It's not very intellectually stimulating, but the monotony, and then it's a lot of physical labor.
Yes.
It's a lot of work on top of taking care of the kids. Spring has sprung, and our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below the waist grooming, have the best tools for some spring cleaning in your man's pants. And trust me, his confidence will be blooming like the flowers. Have him join the other 8 million men who trust Manscaped. Use code WMMA to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Listen, my husband grooms his kibbles and bits using Manscaped, and I can't thank them enough. His balls are freshly shorn due to Manscaped, and I love giving him a good kiss. Gifting your man a Manscaped trimmer is a call to action to get action, because they are here to change the way all the men groom with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside this ball care bundle, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold his goodies. Check out all of their tools to help you upgrade your significant other's hygiene routine at manscaped.com. While you're there, save 20% off and free shipping with the code WMMA. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code WMMA at manscaped.com. His balls will thank you. We are supported by Huel. Oh, I love Huel. You get all your nutrition in one place. Huel Daily Greens is a green super blend powder made to boost nutrition with 91 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced nutrients. It includes super greens and fruit complex, dairy-free probiotics, antioxidant blend and adaptogens derived from ingredients such as kale, spinach, white and red ginseng, reishi mushrooms, broccoli, dandelion root, and so much more. All that goodness gives you 147 health benefits, including immune boost, brain boost, muscle function, supports energy levels, hair, skin, and nail support, gut-friendly, joint and bones protection, better sleep, and lower stress levels. What's not to love about your Huel Daily Greens? I put a little scoopy scoop of that in your water, you're done. You're done. Best yet, Huel Daily Greens is only $45 for 30 servings. That's $1.50 a day towards better health and better well-being. For an added bonus, go to Huel.com/WMMA and you'll get a free t-shirt and free shaker with your first order.
Well, you know what I've often thought is so interesting is that
imagine.
It's in the 1940s and the 1950s that you first see the suburban model develop. That wasn't there before World War II. And I think it's not a coincidence that that's when books like The Feminine Mystique and about the housewives being miserable came out, because before then, it was so many people lived rural. Like my great-grandmother, she didn't see her kids. She literally didn't see them. She'd send them outside to run around the farmland. And yeah, she had some things to do, but her husband was also working on the farm. So it wasn't like her husband was out being an advertising executive, doing
Right.
something really intellectually stimulating. I always say, like, everyone back before the 1940s was, instead of stay-at-home mom, working mom, they were all a try not to die today parent. It was sheer survival. And
yeah.
so it's really just in the 50s that you see suddenly people could have cool, fun careers, but it was only the men. And women were in the suburbs, and so they didn't have that farmland to let their kids go run around. That's when you see women start to really lose their minds with staying home with kids. It's when we move from kind of an agrarian society to this suburban model.
How do you know this?
I'm really
studied
into. I
this?
was an
I love
anthropology major for a while, so I studied human history. And
Amazing.
all of
So let's
that.
talk about this.
Oh, I'm so into this.
Yeah, so this is fascinating to me because I'm like, and also too biologically, I think it's great to have kids at 16.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty,
It is, because
yeah.
that's when your body,
Yeah.
the bounce, the snapback or whatever is
Yeah.
quick, and then your mother would raise the kid for you. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's what happened back in the olden days.
You had a village. I mean, if you look at any time and place in human history before about 1,000 years ago, and the last 1,000 years is like 0.01% of human history, people lived geographically close to each other. There was this village model. So yeah, you probably have a baby at 16, 17, but you would have nieces and nephews running around who would argue about who gets to hold the baby. You were
Right.
not the sole caretaker
Isolated.
of your kids. Women would go down to the water well together. They would trade information. They'd gossip about their husbands and information like, one of my kids is acting crazy. Is this normal? Is this not normal? Great information flow. And then again, there would be an elderly grandmother who lived in your house, and she couldn't do much, but she could hold a baby. So you were not responsible solely 24/7 for the needs of your kids. And that is what our brains are designed to expect. And so the modern woman's brain is like, what in the hell, when she looks around at her life? Because this is not what we're evolved to expect.
No, and it's funny because my parents are European, right? They're from Hungary. And my dad, when I was like 17, 18, wanting to leave the house, was just flabbergasted. He's like, why would you leave at 18? Like, you grow up, you literally live at home in Hungary until you get married, or then maybe your husband moves in with you even. And because properties, you don't just like have a grip, they don't have the credit system or whatever. So you grow up in the apartment that your great grandfather grew up in or whatever, and that's where you raise your kids, and it's the village thing again. So in America too, like, I don't have family. I have fucking family in Hungary. They're not going to help me with my kids.
Right.
I don't have
That'll make a tough date night to drop them off there. Yeah.
I have nobody in especially in Austin. So it's like
so hard.
So it's so much
So hard.
the mental load of what you're talking about. And I agree. And then you have a generation of women who have had careers. Like I had a full career before I decided to have children. So that's wacky. Like, oh my God, I was a person, and then now I'm a mother, and you have to reconcile these two very crazy identities. And it's a complete identity shift.
Yeah. Well, and
Complete.
I think it wasn't meant to be, because again, if you had the village model,
Right.
you would have more mental space. Because imagine you're walking down to the water well, whatever, you're hanging out with your 4 sisters and
Yes,
your
grandma,
aunts and
mom.
grandma. So you're conversing with them. The kids are all running around in a herd with the older teen girls, watching them, grandma's holding the babies. So you have that mental space to do some executive level thinking. Use that higher level of your brain of kind of, who am I? What am I into? What is my role in this village? That sort of thing. But I think the amount of mental energy it takes to raise kids without a village, without a support system, of course we lose ourselves. We don't have time to think about anything other than, wait, you wanted a snack? No, you wanted a snack. Okay, oh no, your diaper is the one that needs to be changed. We were not meant to use 98% of our brain power in a given day towards this effort. It's unnatural. And I always tell moms, if you feel like you are going insane, it's because you're living in a very unnatural situation. You're doing your best in a very unnatural situation.
Oh my God, that's so true. Or even like the other day, so even at 4 and 7, like I'm sitting there, I finally sit down to eat my plate of food. And the little one is like, I got to take a dump. You got to wipe my ass. And I'm like, I just sat down and now I'm about to go smell shit and wipe your ass. And like, it's fucking relentless.
It's moment
relentless.
when you're about to eat.
Oh my God.
I almost turned into the Incredible Hulk a couple times
yeah.
in that moment when I'm so, because you haven't had a chance to eat. And you're like,
please.
Just as the delicious food is about to hit your lips, it's like, mommy.
I need something. But how did you even sleep when you had like so you had a 1-year-old, a newborn. I'm like trying to even like scale it. So, okay, hold on. So at one point you had like a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old.
I usually had 3 kids in diapers. I spent a decade with 3 kids in diapers. Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't sleep much. And, I was addicted to coffee. I had anger management issues. I mean, it was crazy. And we homeschooled for a while too.
Jen, why? Don't. Listen, I love the idea of homeschooling.
I like how this keeps getting worse. Like your producers are like they're going to need some Valium just hearing about my life.
It's just so much work to homeschool. It's so much. How
Not
did
the
you?
way I did it.
Oh, you're like, here, read this?
We did kind of an independent learning model where it was pretty relaxed. Well, I did it so they could travel with me on tour. That was the impetus.
Well, then that worked out for you then. That's smart.
They were my free labor. It was kind of funny.
That's great.
I would literally have my 12-year-old daughter with a clipboard, like telling the guys, okay, no, we need the gels, the blue gels on the lights.
Good.
Literally.
But don't you feel like now that I'm like, you get to an age where you see the Matrix and you're like, oh yeah, actually, I think what you made your kids do will benefit them more in the long run than sitting and being a docile learner in a classroom. And then they get in the real world and they're like, oh, none of this shit mattered. Oh, I went to college and none of this shit mattered. I'm just going back down to being a server again, but I've got this bachelor's degree in anthropology. I'm brilliant. So what? Make money, shithead.
Yeah.
Nobody cares how brilliant you are, especially in this country. Make money, asshole. So like,
that is, well, they're in school now, so they're learning all of that now.
All right. Well, that's good. So did you, was there had to have been a point where you hated your husband when you're just in the dark rocking these children?
Actually, no, because I have a theory that I have a lot of theories. As you know,
Please, you've thought about this. You've got lots of time to think.
Oh, yeah, I know. I live in my head. I have a theory that couples either tend to thrive during good times or they thrive in crises. And my husband and I, we're that kind of couple. We are amazing in a crisis. During those years, we hardly ever fought. I mean, it was a well-oiled machine. I mean, not the house was a disaster, but in terms of our interactions, what's funny is then once things got easier, the youngest kid got older, my career was taking off, and things were getting better. That's when we started fighting because we don't do as well, kind of in boom times. We do better. We do better in crisis
mode.
Yeah,
which is kind of accurate because that's what having small children is. It's in
a crisis.
Yeah,
it's a constant crisis,
survival mode. And no one prepared me for that. Where you're like, wait a minute, you're adding a third person to your relationship, and then a fourth person.
Well, that's the thing. We've lost that generational wisdom. Think about what your great-great-grandmother had in Hungary. First of all, she probably lived near her family. There was information flow of her 5 great aunts and her 6 aunts and her grandmother saying, okay, this is what it's going to be like. And then also just think about the recipes that were passed down. Honey, if you're having a bad day, this is what the women of our generation always do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm just buying cookbooks off of Amazon. Like nothing was passed down to me. I don't know.
I know.
So hard. We're like reinventing the wheel in motherhood. We don't have any of the generational wisdom.
That's true. And because of the work. So like World War, correct me if I'm wrong, industrialization happens, women go into the factories, the men are off at war.
Yeah.
and we start working. Now put that piece, how does that fuck up motherhood?
Well, I think the big thing that impacted is because the women came out of the factories when the men came home. But that did change the economy. There was an expanded economy where now you could do cool things to make money. Instead of, back in the day, it was like, do you want to dig ditches or be a blacksmith? I mean, this idea, sometimes I read historical novels where it was like a woman in the year 1200 yearning for a career. It's like, what?
no.
Like, there were 4 careers in your crappy little village. Like, no such thing. But I think from what I understand, the Industrial Revolution really expanded our economies. That's when you start to have some really cool jobs develop. But there was still that idea of, well, the women they're taking care of the kids. And I think that's when it is when you really see the feminist movement start to take off, because I think women were noticing like, whoa, okay. So this is a new thing that people get to have careers that don't kill them and are fun. Hello.
Yeah.
We'd like to be in on that, and that it makes sense that there was a lot of that resentment and anger for a long time.
Yeah. It's interesting. And now we're trying to figure it out after, like, how does one work and have a family? And it's just so much.
I know.
It's so crazy now.
I really believe that hiring help should be up there with expenses like the electricity bill. I mean, sometimes you just can't. I've had plenty of times when I just could not have help. But a lot of women think, well, I'm staying home with the kids, so even if we had a little extra room in the budget, I could never justify that. No. If you are staying home with the kids, all the more that you need help more than anyone. And again, sometimes you can't afford it, but I really want to change our culture, that there's this culture of shame around hiring help, because I look at it like you are hiring the village that you were designed
Should have
to
had.
need. Because it's kind of like, okay, 1,000 years ago, people didn't have a grocery budget because there were no grocery stores. Everyone was a serf working for their lord on a farm. I mean, there weren't grocery stores. You just lived off of the land. So this is a new expense as part of modern life. You have to have a grocery budget. So I look at it like you need a village budget. You should have a village. You don't have one. Put it in the budget up there with groceries. You need a village. Hire one.
What's up, Fulwiler?
Hell yeah.
That's what my shrink told me when I had mom guilt about hiring a nanny, because my mom had died. I don't have family, so I was like, I want to do this right. And then I had mom guilt about hiring a nanny, and she was like, yeah, but you're supposed to have a mom. You're supposed to have a grandma. You're supposed to have
aunts. You have aunts and
somebody
nieces who come over and help, cousins. Yeah.
You have nobody. So like,
that's so hard.
And in some ways, when you hire help, it's better than the family because they'll do it the way you want it, and there's no baggage. You can be like, okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And the other thing is, I think it's really healthy for kids to be around other adults as caretakers, because that's what kids were designed to need, so that the other caretakers can model different personality types, different skills. For example, I had an incredible nanny who actually became my podcast producer for many years. Yeah, from nanny to podcast producer. It's a funnel there.
It's amazing.
And but she's great at music. She's a musician, so she would come over to the house with her guitar and she'd be playing songs. My husband and I aren't musical at all, so our kids got exposed to this. She's like a bohemian, free spirit artist, musician. So they got that whole influence. And that's another thing that moms do, is they put this pressure on themselves. Like, I have to model for my kids. I have to take them camping and teach them music and teach them how to dance and teach them how to play fiddlesticks and Monopoly. And it's like, you weren't meant to model every single possible thing for your kids.
No.
Your kids were meant to be around other women, aunts, uncles, nieces, people like that, who can model all these different things for them. Moms weren't meant to be all things to their kids.
No.
Because that's another benefit you get from having a nanny, is they can be a different type of role model.
Definitely, because they're going to gravitate towards the personality type that makes sense for them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you can't force the kid to be whatever way. I agree. It's good. And also, my shrink was like, you also can't be there all the time. It's physically not, and you're not doing them any favors, because they should have to figure some stuff out on their own. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's fucking interesting, man. It's a trip. The whole thing's a trip.
Yeah. And one more thing on that is that kids weren't designed to have their moms fussing over them 24/7.
It's not
You
good.
were talking about how much women worked in the 1950s. Imagine this. Imagine if it's 500 years ago, you're living on a farm and your kids want chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
You're going out to the chicken coop and grabbing Clucky the chicken. Like, you're the one who turns it from like the clucking chicken to nuggets. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You're like plucking feathers, cutting chickens' heads off. I mean, moms were busy.
Yeah.
Children were not evolved to need their moms to fuss over them 24/7. And like being entertainment director, like during summers, moms think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Moms were not meant to be entertainment director. They never had time to do that. That was the village. Kids would play with other kids. Like, and anyway, okay.
Free play.
As you can tell, I have a lot to say about that.
No, because it's important to talk about this stuff. I think free play is really important. I like it when my kids do nothing. I think that's really important. Being bored is fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Support for today's episode comes from Honeylove. Honeylove has revolutionized compression technology so you no longer have to feel like you're suffocating while wearing effective shapewear. You'll immediately feel and see the difference. And we have an exclusive offer for my listeners. Get 20% off your entire order with the code WMMA20 at honeylove.com. Support my show and check them out at honeylove.com and use my code WMMA20. I'm telling you, you're going to love Honeylove. It's not like other shapewear where you feel like you want to die. When you put it on and you're like a sausage. Honeylove is so comfortable and yet you still look amazing. So ladies, we've all been there, struggling to take off a tight piece of shapewear with a bathroom line out the door. But their shapewear has a 100% cotton gusset so you can skip the extra undies. Plus, it has a convenient opening in the panty area for a super easy bathroom. No costume change required. But it doesn't stop there. Honeylove has more than just sculptwear. They have incredibly comfortable bras, tanks, and leggings for everyday support. Treat yourself to the best shapewear on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com with the code WMMA20. Use code WMMA20 at honeylove.com. I know. I don't like overscheduling. I've decided I have a no extracurriculars fucking policy right now. I'm not doing it. I don't care.
We do that too.
I'm not doing it.
We do that too.
If they're really interested in something, I'll sign them up. But unless there's a real interest, I'm not going to.
Yep.
Because especially like right now in the circles of parent rearing that I'm in, like the first grade, the pre-K circles, it's intense, bro. Like, these kids are scheduled already.
Oh, really?
Bro, it's like the t-ball, the soccer, the softball, the computer.
Oh, that's
the language.
early.
Yeah, you're like,
oh, wow.
And I keep thinking to myself, because I really want to be thoughtful around this, mindful. It's like, what are you setting them? What's the overarching picture here? Like, okay, it's good to learn a language. I agree. Yes, Spanish, gotcha. A piano lesson, great. But like, what do you want to make this kid into? Like a genius? It's not going to be a super. Chances are your kid is not a super genius.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't going to have that. And then also, you're teaching your kid to never enjoy a free moment of their life, to not learn how to downshift, to be home, to just be with other people, to have conversations, to just exist. You have to you're teaching them that they should always be productive, and I think that's a really scary.
Yeah.
Give them downtime.
Yeah.
Let them watch a cartoon. Let them have a fucking Pepsi and a smile. You're a Coke and a smile. I don't know.
And that's how they discover what they're good at, is through free play. If they're constantly, if it's you go from gymboree to t-ball practice, whatever, you might have a kid who's an incredible painter, but you'll never know because they never have time to be bored and try things.
I know. I kind of just like it. Like I just fucking couldn't take it this weekend when I was alone with them. And I just sat down and I was watching the show, The Gilded Age. I'm really into like period piece type.
Oh, me too. I haven't watched that. Is it good?
It's so good.
Oh, I need to watch that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I just got to watch an episode of The Gilded Age and tune out.
Yeah.
And I just let them tear the house apart. I was just like, it's an hour.
Yeah.
They can't. And I just let them go downstairs into the playroom and they fuck shit up, girl. It was like
two boys. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Every toy was pulled down.
Wow.
Everything. And I was like, it was worth it.
Yeah,
I don't even
totally
care.
worth it. I wouldn't even clean it up until
I don't clean it up
next week. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I stopped cleaning it up.
I know. No, I could have been a great mom if I had just had 10 household employees. I could have been really incredible. Really had it all together.
All right, let's watch some put your earphones on. I want you to watch some of these videos because you're kind of a varsity level mom.
Okay. Yeah.
Will you show her? I want to show her the first video. Just look at this. Because I've had people comment sometimes like, my kids don't do those things. Your kids are just bad. I'm like, all right. Maybe you just don't have boys.
We have about 36 hours to get all of the crayon off the walls. The room is empty, except for a few guitars and the TV and some bedding. But we have to leave. We have to go. The landlord has had enough of the crayon-tastic shenanigans. So, wish us luck.
I mean, did your house ever look like that?
Almost. It was close. Also, I mean, I kind of like that. Can I hire those kids? I mean, that's, you know.
Not that bad.
I have so little attention to detail, Christina. I kid you not. One time they did something like that on a wall.
Yeah.
I didn't notice until the next day.
Oh, wow.
That is how much I live in my head.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
I dissociate when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh yeah, that didn't used to be there. That's incredible though. Every wall covered.
Every wall covered
in crayon.
It looked like at one point a map of the United States, but I think
Yeah.
that was just solid collage work. I don't think that was meant to be. This poor woman.
That's incredible.
That's a lot.
Well, one of the things that we had that was close was one of my toddlers took a Sharpie, and when I walked downstairs, you could see her path. It was the kitchen wall, across the door, on the living room wall. We had a white couch. We bought a white couch. Get this.
no, you
When I
didn't.
tried to give it away to Salvation Army, they brought the whole truck out. The guy steps out. He looks at it and says, "Ma'am, come on. We got standards." Salvation Army wouldn't take the white couch that was the centerpiece of my living room for more than a decade. So that the white couch was there at the time. So the Sharpie goes from the living room wall all across the white couch. Then I notice the baby's bassinet is there. I look in. The Sharpie goes across his forehead and then onto the next wall. So that was my equivalent of that.
Oh God.
I didn't clean that up didn't clean it off the baby. I was like, this is our motif now.
This is it.
You know? Yeah.
This is it. I get so exhausted too that I yesterday Julian was like running and he had a bowl full of turkey sausage slices.
Yeah.
And he just fell and then the bowl of
No.
turkey sausage was everywhere and I was like, guess there's sausage on the floor. Like I am not cleaning up sausage. It's 7:00 at night. I'm done, dude. I'm cooked.
I think that is the best possible reaction because I think that's when a lot of people turn into the Joker. And the fact that all you did was ignore it, I think that's actually an incredible reaction.
Oh, to accept it, to surrender
Yeah.
to the film.
Yeah, you surrendered.
Yeah, I surrender. I don't even get mad. Like I think because my parents would get mad at me
Yeah,
for
yeah.
spilling and how could you break something? It's like, guys, I'm a toddler. I don't have this motor skills. Like I have no dexterity. So when my kids drop or break, I'm like, nah, I guess it's broken. I don't even care. I don't care.
Right.
I can't.
That is the best possible reaction. I really think so.
I tell my husband flips his lid. He gets so mad. I'm like, it's just stuff. I don't care. And he's like, why don't you react? I'm like, man.
Well, because if you react, there's no stopping it. It becomes a downward spiral of crazy.
Well, and also I reserve my fucks for very important fucks to give.
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
There's a finite amount of stuff I care about.
Yeah.
And in my world now, like I'm so beaten down by my children that I care about the big things. Like, can they read and write?
Right.
Great. If not, like that's a
I went
problem.
through a phase where I wasn't there on that. That didn't make the list.
Yeah. Just like it's the bigger pictures that bother me.
Yeah.
Not the,
And honestly, now I can hold
Weighing
forth
in.
with my sage wisdom since I have an
Please
18-year-old.
tell me.
I can't wait. Now, see, I can finally give parenting advice because I
Tell
had
me.
ideas a few years ago, but I thought, if my kids end up getting fired from their meth labs, maybe that I shouldn't give people advice. But now that we're seeing how they turn out,
Yeah, tell me everything.
You're handling it exactly right. I mean,
thank God I'm
it
perfect.
just doesn't matter. Like all this stuff, it just doesn't matter. It is spilling the bowl, leaving the ground up sausage that someone walked in while they're writing on the wall. It doesn't matter. It is going to have no impact on whether these kids turn out well or they're killing it or it doesn't matter.
So what matters? You tell me. What should I be doing?
I think that it matters that they feel like they have your unconditional love, that they feel close to you. There's a lot of stuff written about attachment, meaning like, do they feel like they are really deeply connected to you? And are you really trying to study them and see who this kid is and let this kid thrive in the way that this kid was meant to thrive and really taking a step back and observing it. So that means not overscheduling them. And if this kid is telling you, I hate T-ball, listening to that and saying, okay, son or daughter, whatever, sounds like T-ball is not for you. I that is the only thing I have found that matters. And by the way, I let my kids watch so many screens that what we did instead of limiting screen time, all we did was have screens off time. So there was 2 hours a day where you couldn't be on screens.
I love it.
But then that got too hard to enforce, so we took it down to an hour. So it was, I'm not kidding, Christina, it was like, all right, from 6 to 7 p.m., you guys can't be on screens. And we sort of enforced that, and then that was it. Other than that, I was like, I don't care anymore.
Give up.
I don't care.
Well,
and I mean, my kids are doing well. Like, grades are good. They're kind people. They're very sweet.
Are they still on the screens 24/7? Well, can they regulate that?
Well, it's kind of like when the old story of the dad locking the kid in the closet and making him smoke 2 packs of cigarettes. My kids are kind of sick of screens.
That's amazing.
And what's funny is, I mean, they will be sitting downstairs painting and doing things like that because they get sick of screens too. And I think when your kids are little, it's hard to remember that when they start to be around age 9, 10, 11, they will start to have their own interests and want good things for their own lives. So one of my kids, who's either the 12-year-old or the 14-year-old, said the other day, I just realized I spent 5 hours on TikTok. That's really embarrassing. That's not who I want to be. So here, take my phone for a minute because I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
And kids start to make those decisions when you don't mother henpeck them 24/7 about everything they do.
I agree. See, I have so many thoughts on the screen time thing and like on sugar. I've with my kids, I was just like, just drink soda, eat the sugar. I don't give a fuck. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll get sick and you'll fucking figure it out. And sure enough, my older boy Ellis, I'll be like, do you want to go get a milkshake at McDonald's? He's like, McDonald's sucks. I don't want to go there. I don't want to. And you're like, you just turned down McDonald's. That's a kid who turned down, like, imagine his growing up. You would never. So it worked for him. The younger one, he's still kind of stuff in his face, but he doesn't drink the whole soda. I give him a Dr. Pepper. He takes 2 sips and he gets rid of it. Because you're just like, okay. And the screen thing. So I was so anti-screen.
Yeah.
I was such a Gen Xer that I was like, you shouldn't be on the computer. You need to be in nature. And then I was like, yeah, but this kid's good at it. Like my older boy's really good at like figuring out stuff. He taught himself how to code and an app. And I was like, this kid's really into it. And guess what? That's the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Screens.
Yes. And so my 18-year-old, he developed his own AI algorithm over the summer. He did it for fun during the summer. And I bring that up just to say the reason he was able to do that is because we didn't severely limit or limit at all his screen time. He watched hours and hours of YouTube videos about AI. He got really into it. Basically, that's what he's applying to all these cool colleges. He has a shot at some pretty good colleges, all because he developed a real passion for artificial intelligence.
There you go.
But that would have never happened. You can't do that in 1 hour a day on screens.
That's
you just
so
can't.
true. And those personalities that are excessive, my personality, my husband's personality, one of my children is more excessive.
Yeah.
You do have to get out of their way.
Yes.
Because you're not going to stop that kid. That kid will wake up at fucking 4 a.m. and find the iPad and start obsessing.
Yeah.
Like,
and if they're stifled, they actually start to show signs of mental health deteriorating because they're like greyhound dogs. I mean, you got to let that dog run. Yeah. You got to let him run. At one point, this was my son's best trick. This is incredible. We had the router for our home Wi-Fi. We had it turn off all the kids' devices. Like it would be Donald's iPad or whatever. It would turn off at 11 p.m. or whatever it was. He went in and changed the MAC address. The MAC identifier is like, it would say Christina's iPhone. He switched it.
Genius.
He got our Google Home device to say Donald's computer. He changed his to say Google Home 86432A. And I'd be like, Google, turn the lights out. And I'd be like, why isn't it working, 1 o'clock in the morning? So, and he was just on his computer like all night.
Then he's earned it.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
That's another reason I tell Mom, just give up on screens. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. These kids are going to outsmart us every time. I mean, just give up. You're going to lose.
Again, like it is the future.
Yeah.
So if you're not letting them explore technology, guess what, dude? These kids are growing up with shit. You don't even... My son is doing stuff on that computer. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Bro, do you know? Like, I took him to one of these fucking nerd coding classes. Nerds, do you know? You know this because you're a nerd. There's like nerd computers. You can buy like nerds don't use Apple. They use like this fucking
Linux. Yeah.
He's like, it's called a Leviathan or Leviathan. I was like, what kind of shit? He's like, oh, it's for coding.
Yeah.
It's particular. You can buy the frame and the thing. And I was like, dude, I don't even know about. It's like a whole underground nerd society. You guys have your own nerd shit.
I don't wait. So you're surprised that there's computers other than
just
Macs?
for coding, just for code for making games and gaming computers. Yeah, I didn't know that. Annie,
I don't think I knew that either. Are you sure that's 100% what that is? It's just a
I'll show
computer
you.
that's only made for coding?
No, not only, but it's like it's more.
It's just like a PC, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it's just a PC.
Let me see. Yeah, it's a PC. It's an IBM, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, okay.
It's called a Lenovo. You ever heard of a? What? Is that like really popular?
Well, they have kind of a different reputation.
What is it?
That nigga has a ThinkPad.
What you talking
What is a Lenovo? Why are you guys laughing at
It's just
me?
a brand. It's just a brand of a computer.
Well, it is just, they
never
kind of have
heard
a
of it.
reputation
That's
for
like-
being a little like lower quality. Or
Oh, I've never heard of this in my life. I've heard of REL. I've heard of Toshiba.
There's Apple, and then there's PC, so Lenovo's one of the PCs.
Yeah, it's a non-brand to me. I've
Like-
never heard of this.
Like, wait, if I told you I had an Alienware computer, would you think that was
No
like
clue.
it's just a brand.
Alienware.
Yeah, it's just a brand. It's nothing fancy.
I've never heard of these things. I was like, because I was looking at the dork who was using it, and I was like, "What's a Lenovo, dude?" And I had him write it down because I'm like, "Look, I'm mid-40s, bro. I don't know any of this shit." Oh God, sorry. He's like 500 gigabyte or larger. Intel i5 or i7 processor, 15-inch screen. Like, all right, dorks.
You took a picture of the specs.
Of the night.
so you're
so
getting an
into this
education.
Yeah. Because I'm going to get my kids some cool shit.
That is
right?
the funniest thing I think I've ever heard you say.
God, I feel like at this point we need a montage of all the stupid shit. I swear my brain, like how you don't see things? I don't know things normal people know, but I do know The Genealogy of Morals by Friedrich Nietzsche, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, but which matters more? Knowing the works of Nietzsche or knowing stupid computer brand names? Like, you know what matters.
Being in Time by Martin Heidegger, okay?
Yeah.
I fucking read it.
See, you don't know the computer stuff because you're focused on what matters.
I don't know, dude.
I didn't know Lenovo either.
Thank you, Smart Chad. And he's
Sorry.
the smartest one on staff. We did a test, a series of tests, and Chad is the smartest person on staff.
Oh,
It's true.
all
You want to
right.
know something?
Thank God.
What happened to the person who was the lowest? Were they like a trapdoor opened or something?
Oh
or?
no, Chris. No. That we just have the first smartest and the second smartest. We just like to humiliate Chris Larson.
Okay, so there wasn't like the other one had to
Wait
stand
a
in a corner
minute.
with like a dense hat.
Wait
or-
a minute.
Yeah.
But she does have a good point. We haven't tested for the dumbest staff member.
Could we not?
Sorry, guys.
Can we opt out of that one?
Yeah, I'd love to not take that test.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Also, don't forget
Yeah.
though,
What?
without us tech niggas, these shows don't release. All right, so let's.
That's what I'm saying. I have mad respect for the tech.
All the countries in the UK, go.
Hello. I respect tech nerds. I'm setting my son up to be a tech nerd. That's how much I respect. I acknowledge that he is now on the dark side of the force, and that's fine.
Tell him to program a better matrix.
I will. Steak tastes good. Is that what he eats? I know the steak is juicy. Anyway, so 6 kids. What have you learned from that? What's the lesson?
I have learned that you got to be yourself with your kids. And you can either totally lose your identity having kids, or having kids can be an opportunity to discover who you really are on a level that you didn't know. And it's really, I think one of the most beautiful things you can experience as a parent is the moment that you are your weird ass self and you see this moment of connection with your weird ass kids who get you.
Yeah.
And you think, this is all working because we are a family. For example, with my 4 teen daughters were standing in the kitchen. We opened the fridge and it was like something out of Poltergeist. It was terrible what was happening in there. So gross, just things, the moldy thing. I think they were like something growled at me. I mean, it was so bad. And so we're looking in the fridge, and I was like, who's going to clean this up? And my daughters were like, yeah, we don't want to. And I said, well, I can't, because I've been telling my kids lately, I'm like, I just need staff, guys. This house is so terrible. One of my teens the other day looked around and said, are we white trash? Because like our house, it smells bad. It is so messy. And I was like, listen, guys, I'm touring a lot. You know, like some of my shows are selling out. And I think that we are going to be able to hire the people that we need to make this house nice. And they're like, yeah, well, go, Mom. You know what? I'm gonna post your tour on my stories, you know, for their national fans, you know, who might be coming out to my shows, like the 13-year-olds in some other part of the country. And but in that moment, I realized, you know, my kids do not expect me to clean up, because they know I just can't, and we just need to get rich so that we can hire a lot of people. And it was this really cool moment of they accept me, and they think it's funny that I'm so bad at all of this, but we really get along. And then the other thing is I'm giving my kids permission, and I'm giving particularly my daughters permission to be fully themselves. Whereas if I were forcing myself to pretend that I'm an excellent homemaker, and I had that glassy-eyed Stepford wife thing going on, what am I modeling for my children? I'm telling my daughters that you have to be completely fake for your entire motherhood experience. And so I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away, that if you let it, parenthood can be the ultimate experience of figuring out who you really are and being accepted for it.
That's huge. Yeah, because in learning to parent, I think I did try to be that perfect parent at first, that perfect mom.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, dude, that's not going to work. Like,
I'm such a fraud. This isn't me. It's not working.
It's exhausting too. Because like at the same time, I'm also trying to not parent the way I was parented. So it becomes just this like mental gymnastics of like, what would my mom do? Well, I don't want to be my mom, so I'm going to do the opposite. And it's just fucking, by the end of the day, I would just be exhausted. And then I was like, I'm not my mom. I'm not mentally ill. My mother was deeply mentally ill. I know I'm not. I'm a little wacky and I don't know what a fucking Lenovo is, but I'm not schizophrenic. Yeah. So I know that I'm not going to mess my kids up the way I was messed up. And there is no greater joy than when you do something weird with your kids and then they do it right along.
Yeah,
and they're like, Like I love playing like crazy music for my kids and then being like, fuck yeah, dog. Like, I played Rock Lobster for them this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The B-52s. And the younger one was like, all right. Like he immediately was like, and they all got weird with me in the kitchen. And I was like,
Mom,
this is good.
Cool, obscure music that no one's ever heard of.
And that's when you're like, this is important. Yeah. That's important.
Yep.
You know the B-52s, that you know Rock Lobster, and that you know to get down on the floor and then jump up at the right time. Because that's what's going to fucking win you friends in life and make you happy and like adjust.
Not knowing how to play T-ball.
Yeah, don't worry about T-ball. Fuck T-ball.
Right.
But that stuff and spending that time with you, I think is like, because I don't remember having many good memories with my parents of that. And I feel like that's the stuff you want to have.
Right.
For the memories of just like being in the kitchen and a fun song comes on, or
honestly,
pancakes on a Saturday or whatever, you know?
That is so much better than a scheduled activity.
Yeah.
Any day to
shit.
just dance around your living room to Rock Lobster.
Yeah.
Any day, that is better.
I know. And seeing them for who they are and not trying to like impose your will.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's so important.
But don't you think too, so a sidebar, because I was thinking about this too, is like, I guess there are women that don't struggle with motherhood on the level that you and I do. And I'm
really?
like, I know. I'm like, really? But then I wonder if they ever struggled with personhood to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, were they introspective?
That's interesting.
Before?
Yeah.
And probably not. Like, because some people just are not introspective, you know? They don't agonize.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm going to throw up over basic existential stuff.
The concept makes her vomit that she's like, they don't agonize.
Isn't that funny?
I puke at the concept.
See? Even my body is like existential.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, like I'm so fucking troubled in my brain.
Yeah, and I think also some women, I know women who, let's say they were the oldest of 8 kids, and so it's just a natural thing for
be a
them to do.
mother.
They've seen it modeled. They've seen a model. So they're going from memory of, oh, this is how you do this. And imagine if coming from a loving, happy home where you had 6 siblings and everyone gets along and mama and papa made the porridge every night or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I guess you would just have this, you could go to your memories of like, oh, this is how we do things and this is normal. And
Right.
so maybe some women just have that experience.
Oh, that's what it is. They don't have profound childhood trauma.
Oh, maybe so.
Wait a minute. There's a
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
blueprint that they're referring to.
Right.
So maybe that Lex woman that we covered a couple episodes back, remember the perfect mom? Who
No,
was,
she's on meth.
No, she's
no
not.
positive blueprint
No.
there.
But like maybe those types of moms just have better blueprints for momming. Like maybe she had a dope ass childhood and like she doesn't have to do the extra work, the mental gymnastics that I have to do.
Probably, but there are still only 24 hours in a day. So
I know. How do you do that? How do you keep
I
the
mean,
house
maybe
that
if
clean?
you are really passionate, there are some women who they really enjoy hands-on kind of things. That is their thing. That is their passion, the thing, the blue flame, you know, they really like that sort of thing. So I guess if that's one of those activities that you really like and it gives you energy, for me, anything that is not being cerebral and
Sames.
overanalyzing things in my head is exhausting to me.
Sames.
Whereas like doing an Excel spreadsheet, I'm like, this is a vacation. This is incredible.
Oh,
I
that
love
would
it.
kill me,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah. As long as anything analytical, I love. But the
Yeah.
minute I have to move, use my hands in any way, I'm exhausted. But I know people that say, oh, I could just spend all day in the garden. I just
Nah, I
love it. I
can't do
love
that.
cleaning. It's what I
Oh,
do
I
to relax.
know.
I'm like,
I was always wishing I could be one of those women that that cleaning relax. I have a
Yeah.
friend that cleaning relaxes her, and she would come home from a full day of work
is she
and
just,
clean.
can I hire her?
I know.
So, like, does she want to come to my house?
But like endless energy, like she's one of those women that's very. But like you said, I think it's an orientation of what energizes you versus what depletes you. And for some women, being fit, like physical expression that way,
Yep.
cooking, cleaning, doing the doing body,
Yep.
that energizes them. For me, I
die.
cooked.
I die. Yeah.
Yeah, like by the end of the weekend with my boys, I'm just like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, well, I need alcohol. I have to drink tequila. That's why my face is all puffy. I was drinking alcohol. Like,
Yeah, like
God.
I know a friend who's like, I had the most incredible weekend. I was able to take all 5 kids on a nature walk and we collected leaves and then we spread them out on the table and we labeled them and we made a little
Oh,
craft
you lost
out of
me
the
on the
leaves.
end
And I
part.
was like, I'd be arrested. I'd be in prison if I tried to do that. That would have gone so badly. Like one time I tried to take my kids out to fly kites, but you've probably seen now that you've been in Texas for a while, sometimes we have gale
Lightning?
force winds.
Yeah.
No, gale force winds
Yeah.
in the spring and the fall. And I'm so ADHD, I forgot to check the weather. And so I have this kite and the wind it was like a murderous object. It's like slamming
my
into the ground. The
God.
kids are crying, like the baby starts crying. I'm breastfeeding, like I've got leakage all over the shirt. I almost killed another toddler with this kite flying around. And then the string broke. The wind was actually so bad, the kite broke off the string and the 3 kids were pointing at it in the sky like, where's our kite? I was like, I'm never going outside again. That's it for me. I
Yeah.
tried
Done.
once. We're never doing this again.
yeah, there's certain things I won't do. Like county fairs can go fuck themselves. I'm not doing that alone with 2 kids.
Can you make merch? Can you put that on a t-shirt so that I can buy it?
Yeah, I'm not doing like fucking swap meets or any public like, oh my God, the worst was
Galas, right? You've been to galas? Like,
yeah. The worst is like touch a truck.
what?
Fucking touch a truck. They
Can't
do
you
it.
do that in any parking lot? Like,
No, that's what I thought. So touch a truck. It's this event that happens. It was at Camp Mabry this last year. It happened on the hottest goddamn day of the year.
Is truck a metaphor for something, or
No,
is that?
no, it's gay men. It's a guy named Truck, and he
I was
bends over.
gonna say,
and he
like,
spreads,
that sounds like Austin, actually.
spreads his asshole, and your children touch his asshole. No, so
that is the Austin event. I would.
I know. I'd rather touch an asshole. So they bring all these dope ass trucks out. It's great. Like there's the ambulance, there's the fire truck, there's the digger truck, there's the truck of your mother's truck, and it's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And yeah, dog. So I was like, I'm gonna be this mom of the year and take my kids to stupid ass touch a truck on this hot day. It's full of motherfuckers. You have to park 10 blocks away. I'm dragging my kids. It's too hot. We have to stand in line for water.
Were there bathrooms?
No.
See,
there's
that's
fucking
every
porta potties.
time.
See that sad mom? Scroll up. Look how, in the header, up higher. Look how sad that mom is. That's Touch a Truck in a nutshell.
She's already dead. I mean,
She's
that's just
dead
like
inside.
her corpse.
It's 200 degrees outside, and she's like, just fucking honk the horn so I can get out of this truck. Honk the horn, Jimmy.
And what kind of truck is this?
It could be like there's many trucks, and then like it's a little boys. Their boys love it, right?
Well, there's a free Touch a Truck thing at every Walmart parking lot that is much easier parking. You can get closer to them.
God, and all the kids are sick and coughing all over. And it's just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and that's when you're like, I'm done. No, this is
I'm
nothing
done.
good happens
I'm
when
done.
you leave the house.
I'm done doing any organized activity like
Nope.
this. I'm not going to the rodeo. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not doing the monster truck rally. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
No fucking pumpkin festivals.
Yeah.
You know what I like doing in Austin is just like finding a trail.
Yes.
Let's just
trail?
walk
Like outside?
down a trail. I like to do that with them because then they
okay.
pull bark off trees and they take a stick and they hit the tree with the stick and they throw rocks in the water. Like that's cool.
Okay. I'm impressed with that. I would struggle with that.
Well, because you can just
it's
sit there.
Texas. You have wasps flying at you
I
and
know.
snakes and scorpions. And
I got boys.
I might do that. If I lived in Rhode Island, I'd be on the trails all the time.
Rhode Island.
But yeah.
I want you to play this clip, Vegetables for Kids. Please
Okay.
watch this
Yeah, I
and
will.
tell me if
Okay.
you understand what this guy
I'm going to show you how to cook the perfect veggies even the fussiest of eaters will love. First, you got to peel, then chop. Now, this is the most important part. You must cut them into moons exactly like this because it makes it so much easier to chuck them in the bin. Then you can serve rice again for the third time this week. Don't forget their iPad, and of course, you're going to need tomato sauce.
Standing ovation.
Right?
Standing ovation. Yes. 100%.
How many times have you tried to make the most nutritious? One time I roasted a chicken and there was carrots and celery and the sweet potato and and they don't even eat it. Just goes right in the fucking trash. God damn it. dude.
I gave up. Do you know the Ballerina Farm woman? Have you seen this on
No.
Instagram? Just be careful pulling up her account.
Why?
Ballerina Farm. She is so good at life. It boggles the mind. She's like the other woman you were talking about.
Lexi.
Except she has 6 kids. And she also had about 6 babies in 8 years, but is 100% opposite experience of mine. So the other day, Christina, she made lasagna. See if you can find her
love her.
lasagna video. I actually have the top comment there, which is honestly the crowning achievement of my career. Is it? It might be that one in the middle. Very exciting for me. Oh, there I am. Look at that. Look what I
There you
said.
are. Everything from scratch lasagna. Exclamation mark. Oh, wait, what'd you write? I'm just surprised she didn't make the plates first on a pottery.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I got more followers for that than any of my stand-up
course,
comedy.
of
So
course.
it's good to know. I guess I should just comment
course.
on Ballerina Farm. Like that's my new career plan. So look at this.
It's amazing.
She has a baby. And the baby's not screaming.
See,
and
how do they
look at that.
do
Look
that?
at that. She's holding a baby.
How?
And the baby's not screaming. She
I
had
know.
scissors right there. The baby didn't grab the scissors.
Yeah, or the knife.
Why aren't the toddlers fighting? Why is nobody getting burned?
See, I also think this has to do. Oh, see, the passy fell out.
Yeah.
I know, and she's got the Vitamix.
Because she's making her own pasta
but
for
the
lasagna.
kid doesn't want to put their hand in the Vitamix. So here's the deal. Here's what I think part of this has to be: the temperament of your children.
Yeah.
Because you must have to have chill
I guess.
temperament. Otherwise,
Yeah.
who the fuck is watching the kids? Because they usually want to be
Yeah.
all up in your business when you're making noodles. You know how exciting that is?
Yeah. My kids, one time I was looking at some ancestry stuff and I realized that my people are from all of the areas that were taken over by the Vikings. And at the moment I was Googling that, I've been ignoring the kids. I looked over, my 3 daughters were holding their baby dolls by the feet and hitting each other with them. And I was like, we're like purebred Vikings.
Yeah,
like
we're
this, and this
animals.
explains my children. Like they're just jumping off the walls, being
see,
crazy all
they're
the
animals.
time. There is not, if someone had said, Jen, you can have a box full of gold doubloons and treasure if you can just make lasagna from scratch. She has 6 kids. Let's say half the number of kids with 3 little kids around. I couldn't have done it. I would have had to forfeit. I couldn't have done it.
I think part of it is the mom's temperament, obviously too, because I'm too neurotic. Like when I had like a newborn and a toddler, I don't think I had it in me to be calm enough to be like, I'm gonna cook right now. I think it's me. It's like my temperament. I'm way too. I'd be like, the baby, the toddler. What are they doing? I did it. So like, I don't know, dude. Maybe these chicks are like super chill. I don't know.
They must be.
Maybe she's.
Well, she comes from 10 kids. She's one
So
of 10 kids.
that's what it is!
She saw it modeled. Yeah, she
It's
has
the
that
blueprint.
mental. Yeah.
So she knows how to be chill
Yeah.
amongst chaos. Because not unlike my decision to watch the telly and let my kids tear up the playroom. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the background, her kids are tearing up the house, but she's like, I'm used to this. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and she knew, and when you come from that positive family structure, you have a natural sense of, is this normal? Is this okay? You and I, we don't know. We never saw it modeled. So think about how much mental energy that takes to think, is this normal? Is this normal? Is this normal?
Oh my God.
Versus
every
just
day.
knowing. It's just intuitive. It's just in your bones.
Yeah, because I didn't know children. I did not know babies.
Yeah.
The first baby I held was my own.
Yes,
So-
I had in my whole life also 2 babies before
So you don't know what behavior is what. So you're
Right.
like, dude, are my kids maniacs? Yeah. Okay, and I also play no more sleepovers. I want to hear your opinion on this one too.
Quit allowing your child to stay at everybody's house. You can't trust the parents. You can't trust the other kids. You can't trust the other friends of the kids. You can't trust nobody. Nobody will watch your child like you. All it takes is for one person to touch your child, and your child will be messed up for the rest of his or her life.
What do you think?
I like that one, actually.
I do too.
Because I know some weirdos.
Samesies.
And I think of things that happened at sleepovers when I was a kid. And I mean, as much as I'm big on like, let people help you with your kids, not the, family with the weird stepdad who's, oh yeah, your 4-year-old can come anytime, come over here. Like,
Thank you, dude, because we hung out with this grown man, and he was like, yeah, you guys should come over. And I was like, you don't understand. You don't want my kids in your fucking house, dude. Like, he's like, no, I really want. And I was like, oh, forget it. Any grown man that's like, I really want your fucking toddler over.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks. Hard pass, bro.
Hard pass.
Yeah, you fucking fuck. I see you.
Yeah. So we're pretty.
So what's your policy on like sleepovers?
They have to be of an age that I think that they really, really understand that they could tell us or call us if someone was being weird. And I've also talked to them because I remember, we back in school, I mean, we heard things about creepy people, but I think it didn't fully register for me because looking back, I realized there was a friend's uncle who I moved all the time. So like, thank God I moved before he did anything. But looking back, I think he was grooming me and I didn't realize it. He would talk about how we're really good friends and he'd sit next to me. Thank God we moved. But so I told my kids, if there is anyone older than you, older sibling, adult, whatever, who is trying to be your friend, text me immediately. You're going home. And we can say you have a tummy ache, whatever. So they have to be like 11, 12. The other thing is our kids don't get phones until about 8th or 9th grade, but they do have iPads and stuff. So we have them connect to the Wi-Fi as soon as we get there and text us. And I mean, I'll go back over to the house if I haven't gotten a text from the kid because I want them to have that line of communication to us. And we've told them, I'll pick you up at 2:00 in the morning. We can just say you don't feel well if you need a graceful way to get out of it, but just call us anytime if you're.
Sorry, so what age? So this is like a play day, or what age do you let them sleep over?
Sleep over? 11, 12 at the very youngest.
And they don't have a phone by then, but you give them the iPad and they can
iPad.
text you on the iPad. That's brilliant. I like that.
And the
I like
mom
that.
has to be home. If it's like
Hell
it wouldn't, if it's just a guy and that, or if like the uncle is in town and he suggested everyone have a sleepover.
Fuck your no
Yeah,
way,
right,
bro.
Yeah.
That is so funny, dude. I think about people that like let their kids spend the night with my single ass dad and me. I'm like, oh my God, my dad would run around in a Speedo and like, I mean, he didn't do anything. He didn't molest us or anything, but shit, I'd be like, no, you're not. You're not kicking it with
in the
weird.
80s, I mean, they didn't care.
They didn't give a
I was a latchkey kid. Like my
same.
husband was a latchkey kid. It was like, I was here like 7 years old, just letting myself into the house, go eat a sleeve of cookies by myself,
100%, dude.
watch some TV.
100%. Like, I don't know. And I wonder if the world was as dangerous. We just didn't know it, or like
just nobody cared.
Just nobody cared. Because I don't buy this that the world is getting more and more dangerous.
Yeah,
I just think you're hearing about these weird beards more because we're able to catch these fuckers.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, God. Okay. I don't want to end on pedophilia. I shouldn't have shown that. Let's end on something positive. Let's do I Need a Night Nurse.
Last night I was holding Sadie at about 4 a.m., her new wake-up time, and I looked over at our video baby monitor, and I saw that Sadie wasn't in her crib, and I panicked. I almost threw Sadie in the air to go look for Sadie. I need a night nurse.
Did you get what she said?
100%. Yeah, oh yeah.
Who hasn't done that one where you're like, where's the baby? Where's the baby?
Well, I haven't because my kids were never that calm. I swear, like my babies, like they cried all the time. I always knew where they were. They never just chilled out. I couldn't have made that video when my kids were babies. I had one that was that calm. And the rest were maniacs when they were little babies.
I know.
But to her point, you know how Elon Musk has got all this money and he's doing all this green energy, whatever. If I become a billionaire, I'm telling you that I'm going to do something to help moms without a support system. I'll subsidize them getting night nurses or whatever, but you can't do it. It's too hard. It is too hard.
I have a friend who had a baby. The baby daddy bounced, and she had to raise the newborn and everything on her own alone. Hard. And the irony is, her sister lived down the hall from her and wouldn't help her because they have a bad relationship. Yeah. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, there's no resentment like that. Like, if you're up with this newborn and that guy bounces and then your piece of shit sister lives down the hall and won't help you. I was like, dude, that would put me in a mental hospital.
I would spend all of my years waiting till she's in the nursing home and then be like, oh, did you want my child to come visit you? I am that vengeful and resentful. I would be just counting the days until she's 80 and we can finally put this plan of vengeance into action. The rest of my life would be just biding time to get revenge.
I know. Well, on that note, Jen Fulwiler, what's coming up? Where can people find you? You're so funny, and I'm so happy for you that you're crushing it. She's selling out everywhere. Where can people see your dates?
jfcomedytour.com, because no one can spell Fulwiler, so I just did jfcomedytour.com. Yeah, that's all my dates. I'm going everywhere, doing a club tour for this one, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Amazing. I'm so happy you exist, and I'm so happy we met finally, because people have been telling me to link up with you forever, and I'm so glad we're buddies now, because now you're in Austin, and I hope you come back on the show a whole lot more.
Anytime. I would love to. This is so much fun. Honestly, I've done a lot of interviews, and this is my favorite, and I swear I'm not just saying that.
Fuck yeah, dog. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the show so that every time a video drops, you just get it automatically. Leave me a voicemail, 213-375-5184, or leave me an email, where my mom's at gmail.com. Get on your Lenovo Pro computer. What's it called? Lenovo Pro. Get on your Lenovo.
Get them as a sponsor, yeah.
If you've heard of such a thing, I don't even know if you know about them, but we broke that hot tip today, you guys. All right. Until next time, stay cool, moms. Bye. Hi, Mommy. Thank you for watching that episode. Did you like what you see? I hope you did. So why don't you subscribe? Just click the subscribe button and, hit the notification bell so you can get notified. And also, why don't you watch another video? Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Right here, down there, whatever. There's so much stuff, bro. I make these all the time for you to watch. That's why I'm here. I love you.